Let's just get this over with. '51, Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, it's too sweet. Anyway, this is another one of my favorite of all time videos, and by request, I was asked to do either the Oilers or the Penguins, and I figured, well, let's do the worst of two evils, even if this one does give me an allergic reaction. So this is my favorite Penguins of all time. Hope you enjoy it. So, brief history. The Penguins have been around since 1967, and by the time I started watching hockey, there was a lot less suckage going on in Pittsburgh. There was a time, believe it or not, in my youth when I didn't know any better, when I actually was a fan of the Penguins. I got to watch 2 cup runs, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and 3 cup runs, which I didn't necessarily enjoy. But that notwithstanding, there were actually some Penguins I actually did like from then and maybe from now, but we'll get into that. But like with all videos like this, I'm only naming my top line. I'm only going 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, a goalie. That's it. So if you want to see me do your team, feel free to put a request in the comments below, and I'll do my best. Having said all that, let's get down to it. Starting off in net, Tom Barrasso. This was, for me, a no-brainer. I've always thought Barrasso was the better goalie for the Penguins. I mean, granted, yeah, he came over and traded from Buffalo, but if it weren't for that trade, I guarantee you Pittsburgh would have had no cups in the 90s. Not 2, none. Sure, his goals against wasn't the greatest, but the guy was clutch. You needed him to stop the puck, he stopped the puck. You needed the win, he got you the win. My money is on Barrasso any day of the week, twice on Sundays in his prime. Moving to defense, going with Paul Coffey. Now, it's not because Coffey is my dad's favorite player. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, out of all the defensemen that have come and gone, not named Samuelson, who I will avoid at any point, he was part of the reason Pittsburgh sucked a lot less. Granted, he wasn't as nearly as offensive in Pittsburgh as he was in Edmonton, but he didn't need to be. He really didn't. I mean, at the time, Pittsburgh had a few solid forward lines, and if it weren't for the trade to Pittsburgh, Coffey might have never learned how to properly play defense, I think. But all that notwithstanding, Coffey would be my first defenseman. Number 2 on defense, Larry Murphy. Goal number 55. The guy was a defenseman's defenseman. You needed him to stop the puck, he stopped the puck. You needed him to set the play up, he set the play up. He had a very well-rounded defensive game, and the Penguins benefited from that greatly. Again, not a lot of good defensemen have come out of Pittsburgh, not named Coffey or Murphy, so the fact that I have these 2 here should say it all. Enough said. Moving on to the forwards. And probably the biggest reason the Penguins won the Cup in '09, and this guy is still with the team, Gino. Of course I would put Gino on this list. I have a hard-on for Russian hockey players, but it's a different topic for a different day. The guy is a monster. Like, you needed the points out of him, he got you the points. And like I said, if it weren't for him in '09, that cup would have went to Detroit. I guarantee it. You can say all you want for Cindy, but Cindy's nothing without Gino. And Gino can do everything that Cindy can do. He just can't do it on a broader scale because Cindy gets all the attention, which is, I'm not going to get into this one. Either way, for good solid offense of the Penguins now, I'm going with Malkin. It was a toss-up between Malkin, Stevens, Tocchet, and Trottier, and out of those 4, I'm more comfortable with Malkin. Next forward on my list, number 68, Jaromir Jagr. Aside from the fact that the guy at 47 years old is still more physically fit than anybody, he was the Penguins after Mario retired, and his Art Ross trophies, his Hart trophies were no fluke. Like, in a dead puck era, he was so gifted offensively. There was just no stopping him. There really wasn't. And it's sad that he's not in the NHL right now, because really, I mean, if you go back to my 2,000 point video, he would have been there. And then some, I think. But Jagr was fun to watch in Pittsburgh, whether it was with or without Mario. He was just gifted. He had the hockey psychology, and you can't go wrong with the flow. He had an amazing mullet. And his celebration, loved it. Loved it. Favorite Penguin of all time. And probably my favorite player of all time. And I might get a lot of heat for this, and I'll explain. Mario, obviously. When I started watching hockey, yeah, there was Gretzky, there was the Oilers, there was all that. Between you and me, I always thought Mario was better. And if he would have had healthy seasons underneath him, he would have pushed Gretzky numbers. Guaranteed. He would have been another 200-point scorer. A lot of the Gretzky records that are there now would have probably been Mario records. And I mean, 5 goals, 5 different ways, 1 game? Yeah, of course. Never mind the 50-50s. Never mind the fact that he could do 100 some odd points in half a schedule. The guy had size and hands that most guys would only dream to have. And superstar, obviously. But from the moment he stepped on the ice, in his first NHL game, on his first shift, scored his first goal on his first shot, you had to know that was magic. And he did not disappoint. Not one bit. But what made Mario so special, like I said, his size. And the fact that he had the skill set of guys smaller than him on a 6'4" frame. The guy was just amazing to watch. And I really wish he had healthier seasons. And I wish he didn't have to take 1 year off or retire in his prime, because, like I said, a lot of those Gretzky records would be in jeopardy. So that was episode 51, Trev's Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. Always has, always will. And don't forget, I do appreciate every time you guys do tune in and watch. Right here. Right here. But if you like this video, feel free to give me that thumbs up. If you want to, you can hit that little red button. You know what I'm talking about? That'll help get this channel to 50 subs. Let's do it. Let's do it. Again, as I said in the beginning of this, if you want to see me cover your team and who my favorites of that team are, hit me in the comments. Let me know what you want me to do there, and I'll do my best. That's what I can do. Hopefully, your team won't give me as much grief or as headache as this one. But moving forward, I'm missing a part, aren't I? You can find Trev's trade page on Facebook at Trev's Trade Page. You can find Trev's parent channel at Trev's TV. You can find me on Instagram at RockstarTrevTV. Going forward, what's better than one bad video? How about another one? I actually decided to do this one before the next one I'm going to do, so hopefully I have it in me to do a third video tonight, considering how busy my tomorrow is going to be. And if you know me well enough, if you're on my personal Facebook page, you'll know why. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from the Trev. Later.